Hey guys, Ewan here with the Old Collabs, and I know I'm running late with this show quite a bit, but that's because I was competing at the time this show was happening as well. So I figured out if I can't make news out of it, I'm gonna just wait for some high quality footage to come out. So in this video, you're not gonna watch those TV screenshots from the live stream. You're gonna watch a decent video. It's not really great, but it's fine. Anyways, again, I was late because I was competing, and this was my last show this competitive season. And you guys, I will just promise you right now, from now on until next competitive season, which is gonna be in probably more than a year, I will be really focused on growing this channel. I'm gonna be making videos every single day, pretty much. Anyways, this is my last show right here, where I took another silver, another second place. So I have 6 silver medals so far and 2 bronze medals. How did I lose this show? Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Just go to my Instagram account and take a look. Just type even bodybuilding and tell me what you think. Did I deserve to win this or not? Anyways, this is my last show. I also checked myself out in classic physique division, where I took second place as well, but I beat the guy who beat me in classic bodybuilding, because the criteria is a bit different. Anyways, I'm happy with the results, everything is great, and this is my best edition this season, my best conditioning, and this is what I want you to remember me by. The previous show that I took second, as I said, is my biggest, my fullest look, but this is my most conditioned look, the one that I'm the most proud of, and I am gonna try and bring, I don't know, like 15, 20, maybe 25 pounds of muscle before I compete next time. And conditioning must be hell of a lot improved. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, let's get to this show. Let's do some analysis. So this is the scorecard. I highlighted some of the bigger names that you probably were curious about how will these guys do. And this is the result, the outcome that everybody pretty much expected. Yeah, of course, Big Ramy was in the mix before he actually got tested positive for COVID. And guys, I have an idea. Maybe I'm gonna mention that in a video. Just an idea, just a wild thought. What do you think? I mean, it's not unrealistic, but could it be that him and Chad Nichols decided together to fake this whole thing so they don't have to prep twice, so they can focus on Mr. Olympia? And Big Ramy already has a lot of points, but he didn't qualify. Maybe I'm sure Mr. Olympia is gonna give him a special invite. So maybe that's the strategy. It sounds logical, right? I'm not saying I have any info on this, but it's just common sense. It's just something that popped to my head. I'm probably wrong though, but what do you think? Isn't it logical? Anyways, without Big Ramy, the winner of the show was James Hollingshead. Who the hell is James Hollingshead? Well, I knew who James was for a long time. Lately, he did receive a lot of traction, a lot of press, but even before, I mean, when he had like 20,000 followers actually on Instagram, I used to follow him and I recognized his potential. Take a look at this, guys. My 4th ever video on my own older channel, even bodybuilding. Who is James Hollingshead? I made a video about this guy and I was a huge fan of him. I recognize the potential. I knew this guy is going to be an Olympian one day. I remember sending his photos to one of my friends who is also a bodybuilder and telling him this guy has a lot of potential and he's going to be at the Mr. Olympia stage. Not only genetical structure-wise or the rate of growing muscle, but also the way he's thinking, the way he's driven and everything. Just I took everything into consideration, everything I could see, and I realized that. And it happened a couple of times also with Anton Valiant as well. I knew that Anton is going to be on Mr. Olympia stage. And I sent him also to some of my friends. And many of them told me like, nothing special, he has this weakness, that weakness, the structure is not that good, this is missing, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I guess I do have an eye for it. I mean, in a sense. Anyways, James won, and I'm really happy because of that. I'm really happy because I feel like I know this guy. I've been watching him on Fuad Abiyad's podcast, and I feel like he's my friend. And you know, I know it sounds silly, it sounds funny, but that's the impression that you get. That's the feeling that you get when you listen to somebody every day, pretty much. Like, who was second? Lucas Osladill. What the hell is Lucas Oslodill doing in his off season? He's not showing anything to us. James is sharing a lot. He's sharing his thoughts. He's sharing his mindset. He's sharing his training. He's sharing videos of himself training. He's sharing his meals, everything pretty much. And that's why you want to see him win. I mean, it's logical, right? And I know, I listened to him. I know how much he worked. He worked really, really hard. He was like 101% focused. And when I say 101, it means he was more focused than he should probably be. Like he did everything, and on top of that all, he was even more devoted to it. So like unnecessary effort. So he did everything. He checked all the boxes, and that's what happens. And that's also what happens when you're coached by probably, in my opinion, currently the best coach in the world, Patrick Tour. It seems like Patrick is the best out there. It seems like it. Based on what his clients are saying, based on his results, he already sent 2 bodybuilders to the Mr. Olympia stage, James here and Ian Wallier. So, you take your own conclusion based on that. But anyways, James won. He looked really impressive, really big, really full, really conditioned. Everything was just spot on. Back to the list. Let's check it real quick and then we can watch the video. Second place, as I said, Lucas Osladil, which was also expected. This guy is probably the highest ranking guy in this lineup. James just beat him right now, but before that, Lucas was a better bodybuilder based on their achievements. He was already at the Mr. Olympia stage. Third place, Rafael Brandao. This was kind of surprising. I expected Rafael to be smaller on the stage against the other guys, but even though he was a bit smaller, he was really impressive, and many had him in second. And based on the way the judges were placing them on that stage, it seemed like he's going to be second, but no. Lucas edged him out. As far as the fourth spot, you had Regan Grimes. Yeah, I was actually surprised by this. I didn't really expect him based on the way he looked to be fourth, because he seemed really soft and really flat from the front, but you're going to see that in the video as well. Samson Dawara took fifth, and as far as the popular names, you also had Milan Sadek, who took only 10th place. He came like a classic physique guy. He lost a lot of muscle. I don't know what happened to him, but before he was like top 3 at the New York Pro or something like that. He was a really good bodybuilder. He deflated. He came much smaller than what we expected. I don't know why. Maybe he's gonna explain it. Anyways, let's go to the video now. Alright, first let's check the winner, James Hollingshead. Big, full, not just big, I would rather say huge. He's really insane. Like, this guy lifts heavy weights. He's squatting like 8 plates for reps, and you can see it in the physique. It has a lot of that. This is a good shot for him, this twisted back shot. He has a lot of that graininess, gnarliness. Now, he has a lot of water still. That's I think that's the decision that him and his coach made. They didn't want him to come dry and small. They decided to bring him big, and he was like 265, 270 maybe even at the stage. Rafael, though, he came pretty conditioned, like really conditioned, sure, but a bit smaller. So I think he also could have came a bit bigger and fuller if he decided to keep more water, to retain more water, but he decided to do a bit heavier dehydration, and also he doesn't have as much muscle as the other guys. Regan Grimes here, as you can see from the front, his arms look flat, the chest also looks pretty flat, the legs are not that deeply separated. An improvement for sure, really impressive. Back lat spread, one of the best back lat spreads like in the world right now almost. If he can come a little bit sharper, and also back double bicep as well. His back overall is really good back, but he lacks that density, that graininess that comes with muscle maturity and with hardcore training that he's not doing. Lucas Osladil, this guy is established pretty much. He brings the conditioning. He's big. He has not that pretty structure, to put it mildly, but he knows how to pose his body the best way possible and to express himself perfectly. The way, like to get the maximum out of his physique. And now, yeah, he's a bit thick-waisted, but there is still a lot of muscle in that back, in those glutes, and those glutes are lean. The hamstrings, look at the adductors there. Everything is just there. Samson Dawara, really good structure. I really like this guy. He kind of has that Serge Nubret sort of classical structure, but much larger. Though he never really comes peeled. If he figures it out, like if he comes a little bit bigger, like a little bit more muscle and conditioned, but like grainy, gnarly, that would be a really dangerous package. And he seems like a taller guy, so yeah, like a big version of Serge Nubret. Anyways, this was the top 4. And based on the way the judges were moving them, it seemed like it's gonna be Regan and Rafael in that top 3, not Lucas. We thought Lucas is gonna take the top 4, but apparently they figured out, like they thought Lucas is second. Let's decide who's gonna be a second and third. And they realized that James is a very convincing win for this show. Yeah, he seemed like a winner. There was no doubt about that, if you ask me. I don't think anybody here came close to him. Like James, let's say Lucas, he was close as far as muscularity and conditioning. And the other 2 guys, they were close when it comes to conditioning. But nobody came with as good combination of conditioning and muscularity. Nobody. So James was far ahead, and he deserved this victory. I must say that I was really impressed by Rafael Brandao. I also have to add that the point of wearing these face masks is non-existent. Like, why the hell are they doing this? Just put it on their chins. Makes zero sense whatsoever. Here you can see what I'm talking about when I say thickness and the size. Rafael is lacking it. Regan has it, but only from the back. From the front, he lacks the conditioning, the fullness, and that the maturity. James has everything. He has a complete package. Look at the glutes, how hard these glutes are, and muscular and thick and everything. The back as well, like overall head to toe. Some guys have this, some guys have that. James here, the most complete competitor, no doubt. Size, fullness, conditioning, everything. A really impressive package. I really loved it. If Big Ramy was there, if Big Ramy didn't bring his, I don't know, let's say 90 to 95% of what he used to bring before, he would probably be edged out by James. He would probably take second. What do you think about that? Maybe that's topic for a different video. So yeah, third place, yeah, it was Rafael. And I think it was deserved, of course. I don't think he deserved better than that. He was smaller. He was smaller than Lucas. But he was more conditioned and probably more matured from the front than Regan. But from the back, Regan was way more massive. So, it was close, but I agree with the decision. And I agree with every single decision that I saw in this show. I don't know about the top 10 or like after that. But as far as the top 5, yeah, I see that. I would go with the same order. Anyways, guys, tell me what you think about this show. If you like this video, though, like it, comment down below, say whatever you think. Subscribe, because I'm gonna give you a lot more content in the future, far more than this. Anyways, thank you so much, guys, for watching. All the best, and keep it old school.